Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn Unit 4 The Cavity, the Mystery Cat, written by T.S. Eliot. So, before we go into the poem, we shall learn about the poet. Just we shall read something to know about the poet. Thomas Stearns Eliot was an essayist, a critic, a playwright, and a pioneering poet of the 20th century. So, when we see about the poet, T.S. Eliot was an essayist, also a critic, a playwright, and a beginner poet. That means he was a leading poet of the 20th century. He attended Smith Academy in St. Louis and then the Milton Academy in Massachusetts. It is a state in USA. So he had attended two academy, Smith and the Milton Academy. He graduated from Harvard University and then left for France and the Sorbonne to study philosophy. So he was a graduate in philosophy. Eliot returned to Harvard and deepened his knowledge. How did he deepen his knowledge? By reading Indian philosophy, and studying Sanskrit. So, by reading Indian philosophy and studying Sanskrit, he deepened his knowledge. He also finished his advanced degree at Harvard. So, he has completed his advanced degree at Harvard University. And some of his popular poems include The Wasteland, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Ash Wednesday, Four Quartets, Journey of the Magi, After Strange Gods, Naming of Cats, and T.S. Eliot. This is very important that you should make note of. T.S. Eliot won the Order of Merit and received the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1948. So he was the winner, or he is the recipient of Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1948. So this is all about the poet which is given in your textbook. Let's read the glossary meanings. Defy, to resist or to challenge. Okay. Bafflement means total confusion. Bafflement means total confusion. Scotland Yard is the headquarters of London Metropolitan Police Service. Flying squad, a police force ready to plunge into action. That means to get ready to get into action. Levitation, it's an important word that you should make note of. What is that? The action of rising and floating in the air. Some people, because of deep meditation, they get this ability of rising and floating in the air. Fakir. So, fakir is a holy person or a saint who lives on alms. Alms means help given by others, and he has the ability to levitate. That means ability to float in air. Fakir, because of their meditation. Ginger is not merely ginger, it is alert and cautious. Fiend is demon. Feline is a cat. Feline is a cat. So feline, it has to be pronounced as feline. Feline means cat. Depravity is evil quality. Larder, it's a cupboard for storing food. As we store food in cupboard, that is called as larder. A rifle is ransacked to steal. Pekingese dog. Pekingese dog. Pekingese dog. It's a breed of dog. Stifle is to suppress someone from acting. Then trellis. Trellis is wooden bar used as a support for creepers. Admiralty is a government department that administered the British Navy. So it's a government department. Deceitfulness is cunningness. Suavity is confidence and sophistication. Alibi, it's a claim of evidence that one was elsewhere when a crime was committed. Alibi is a claim of evidence that one was not at the place of crime. So one was elsewhere when a crime was committed. And the last two characters, names of the characters, fictional characters specialized in petty thefts and mischief, petty thefts and mischief in T.S. Eliot's book, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. So this particular poem is an extract from this particular book. Okay, Macavity the mystery cat is an extract from this particular book, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. Napoleon of crime means the commanding leader of criminals, the head of the criminals. Okay, let's move on to the poem. There is always an air of mystery in cats. They appear to see something which we don't. Macavity is one such elusive, agile, and phantom like cat. Read this humorous lyric poem and find out what happens when he strikes. Let's move on to the poem. Okay. Macavity's a mystery cat. Macavity is a mystery cat. He is called the hidden paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. So the first four lines says that Macavity is a cat which is unknown, which is a mystery, which no one can easily understand. He is called the hidden paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. See, this cat is a mystery cat, and his footprints are not at all to be seen. When he does the mischief or any involvement in the criminal act, he doesn't leave any evidence or proof. That's why he's called as the hidden paw. And for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. Defy means what? He is challenging the law. The law and order are maintained by the police department. But to that department, and see, is the bafflement of Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard is the London police headquarters. For that police headquarters, this cat is a challenge, and he creates confusion. Bafflement means confusion. So the flying squad is in despair. The police officials are not able to identify him, not able to catch him. So it is a total confusion to the London headquarters. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. He is the one who does the criminal, but at the time of their reaching there, cat is not there. That is why the entire poem's content and the title of the cat is given as Mystery Cat. Macavity is a mystery cat. Macavity is not there. Second stanza, Macavity, Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. He has broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare, and when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity is not there. In the second stanza, McCavity, there is no one like McCavity. So there is no cat like this cat. Why? Because he's breaking all the human law. The law which is posed for human, he breaks that law. Because when police people comes, he's not there. He vanishes from that place. Not only he breaks the human law, he breaks the law of gravity also. Everyone knows the law of gravity, the gravitational pull of the earth only keeps us to have that gravitational force, and that's why we are walking and lying. We are attached to the ground level, otherwise we would be floating. But there is the existence of gravitational force, but this McCavity cat breaks even that law of gravity. What he does? Third line says that his powers of levitation would make a fakir stand. Who is that fakir? I told you in the meanings. They are the saints, holy person. Because of their meditation, they can rise up and float in the air. So, how can they do that? Because of the meditation. But this cat is doing the same. This cat is also jumping in the air, which can float in the air, and just in no time it can vanish from the place of crime. That makes a fakir, that makes a holy person stare at this cat. How can this cat just jump and move and be nowhere? No, that's why these holy persons stare. Such is the power of this cat, the power of levitation, the power of floating in the air, the power of flying so quick. And when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity is not there. Everyone likes this particular cat because it does the crime, but it is not in the scene. It is a great challenge even for the best police force, the London headquarters. That is why there is no one like McCavity. That is the beginning line of the second stanza. Okay, so where does it fly? Where does it float? You may seek him in the basement. You can search in the ground. You may look up in the air. You can search for McCavity down on the ground or in the air. But I tell you once again, McCavity is not there. Why? Because McCavity is a ginger cat, alert and cautious. You cannot easily find him out. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. So McCavity is a ginger cat. Ginger cat means alert and cautious. You cannot easily identify. No time it will just be away from the scene of crime. But it is very tall and thin. It's not very fat. It's tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, because his eyes are always sunken, always in a deep thinking. When you think, you keep your eyes sunken. What to do, where to go, what should be the next move. If the police people come, how can I escape? Always this cat thinks of escaping or of the next move. Okay, let's move on to the next stanza. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's off asleep, he's always wide awake. His brow is deeply lined. The eyebrow is deeply lined, and why it is lined? With thought. It is thinking very, very deeply. His head is highly domed. Domed means hemispherical. Up there on the face, if you look at the face of Macavity, it is in a dome shape. And about his coat, first is brow, second is head, third is coat, is dusty. And what about his whiskers? Whiskers means all the hair which are found on the face of Macavity, whether it is mush or beard, whatever you call, those are uncombed. So his brow is deeply lined, his head is highly domed, his coat is dusty, his whiskers are uncombed. What about his head? He sways his head from side to side, like a snake. And when you think he's far off asleep, you might be thinking that Macavity is sleeping. No. But he's always wide awake. But he pretends as if he's sleeping, but not actually. Let's move on to the next stanza. Macavity, there is no one like Macavity, for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity is not there. Again in this line, Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. So here, in this line, it is said, Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. Why? Because for is a fiend. Fiend means demon in feline shape. Feline shape means cat. So it is a cat. It is a demon in cat shape. Okay, it's not a normal cat. It's a demon, evil character. It's a devil in cat shape. A monster of depravity. Depravity means evil quality. You may meet him in a by street. You may see him in the square. But when a crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. So people may say, I have seen Macavity in the streets. I have seen him in the mall, in the marketplace. But when it comes to discover the crime that he has committed, Macavity is not there. People can say, everyone knows that Macavity is the reason for that crime. Everyone knows it. But when you find out the crime, you cannot find out the person. Macavity will not be there. So there is no one like Macavity. You can be thinking that it is a cat, but it is a demon in the cat shape, a monster of depravity. It's a monster of evil quality. You may find anywhere, but when crime is discovered, when people find out the crime, you cannot find out the person who has done the crime. Then Macavity is not there. Okay. Is outwardly respectable. You may ask whether people like this character, this cat. Yes, he is outwardly respectable. They say he cheats at courts, and his footprints are not found any file of Scotland yards. And when the lard is looted or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing or another peak's been stifled, he is outwardly respectable, and his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland yards. Generally, the police people will have the footprints or fingerprints of the criminals. But this particular cat does not leave any footprints at all. So the police department has no clue of the crime. But everyone knows that it was done by Macavity, but there is no evidence, there is no proof. And when the larders looted, larders means the place to store the food. When that is looted, or chinna vishayama irundhalum sari, or the jewel case is rifled, or when there is a big theft like stealing of jewels, அது நடந்தாலும் சரி, or when the milk is missing, or when you are complaining about, no, I kept milk here, it is missing, or another dog's been stifled, no, another dog is being dominated by macavity. No, in any part of the crime, whether it is larders looted or jewels cases rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another dog has been stifled, no, no footprints can be found. Okay. Or the greenhouse glass is broken and the trellis past repair. Aye, there's the wonder of the thing, macavity is not there. So, whether it is a minor crime or major crime, greenhouse glass is broken, any office glass is broken, and the trellis past repair. You know, trellis is a wooden bar to support the creepers. When that is repaired, or any wonder of the thing happens due to macavity's crime, macavity is not there. And when the foreign officer find the treaty is gone astray, or the admiralty lose some plans and drawings by the way, there may be a scrap of paper in the hall or in the stair, but it's useless to investigate because macavity is not there. Foreign office find an agreement, the plan, or any drawings, anything is missing. There may be a small scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it is useless to investigate because even when you find that small paper in the hall or in the stair, there is no evidence or no presence of macavity because macavity will not be there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say it must have been macavity. When they disclose the fact that it has been done by macavity, when they say that he is a mile away from the place of crime, what is the use of saying, naanga kandupidichitom, it must have been macavity? By the time you tell macavity is a mile away, that's that's smart macavity is. You will be sure to find him resting or a licking of his thumbs or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. Macavity, there is no one like macavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. Here it says, these lines say, you will be sure to find him resting. One might say, I have seen macavity resting, or another person may tell that he has found macavity licking his thumbs or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. It's not going to be doing that sums, but the actual thought, the body language of the macavity cat, it must be calculating. That means where to go next, what to do next. No such calculations, not exactly the division sums. Macavity, there is no one like macavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. Suavity means sophistication. We saw. See here, deceitfulness is cunningness, suavity is sophistication, confidence and sophistication. So you cannot find any other cat with such cunningness and confidence. He will do everything with confidence. Okay. The last stanza says, he always has an alibi and one or two to spare. At whatever time the deed took place, macavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known, I might mention Mangochery, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time just controls their operations, the Napoleon of crime. See, whenever there is a crime, macavity as an alibi. Alibi means we have already seen that it is an evidence a claim of evidence that one was somewhere else when a crime was committed. நான் இங்கே இல்லவே இல்லையே, நான் இந்த இடத்துல இல்லையே, நான் அந்த இடத்துல தானே இருந்தேன் அப்படின்ற எவிடன்ஸ் மெக்காவிட்டி கேட் வச்சிருக்குமா. He always has an alibi, not only one or two to spare, and whatever time the deed took place, McCavity was not there. And they say, people may say, we know the cats in this particular story or poem in the movie. Likewise, no, I told you this is an extract from a book. So in that book, Mungocheri and Griddlebone are known for wicked deeds. These two cats, these two characters are known for wicked deeds, but these two cats cannot stand in front of McCavity. No, they are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time controls their operations. Who is that? McCavity, the Napoleon of crime, the master criminal. What is the meaning of the Napoleon of crime? The commanding leader of criminals. He is the commanding leader of criminals. So this is a beautiful poem which T.S. Eliot has written very well. And if you look at the last two words of every stanza and the last two words of the third and fourth line, the rhyming scheme can be seen. AABB, thumbs, sums, McCavity, suavity. In the previous stanza also, stare and there, say and away. Only in the last stanza, spare there, known bone, AABB, time and crime, CC. Okay, otherwise the rhyming scheme for the entire poem is AA and BB. Okay, hope you all understand this poem, McCavity, the mystery cat, written by T.S. Eliot. So now in line 11, tall and thin can be seen. Tall and thin. In line 13, his, head and highly. In line 18, fien and feline. So those are the lines which has same consonant repeating, that is called alliteration. In line 15, you can see, in line 15 you can see that he sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. Like, the word like is used there, and the McCavity's swaying movement is compared to a movement of snake. So that is why the 15th line is simile. Repetition. If you look at repetition, you can see that McCavity is not there, McCavity is not there, McCavity is not there, McCavity, there is no one like McCavity. The poet uses all these repetitions just to make sure that McCavity is not there. McCavity, there is no one like McCavity. Just to make us understand that McCavity cat is someone who is very unique. Whenever the crime is done, he will not be there. Okay, so hope you understand some of the literary devices like alliteration, simile and repetition. So watch this video, and I'll give you an assignment also. Give me the attendance to my personal number and I'll send you the assignment also. Thank you.